Welcome and welcome back to the Jazzy Nation. My name is Jasmine and I'm an expat living here in India as well as a content creator here on the internet. I make lifestyle type of videos as well as travel vlogs and expat style type of vlogs, answering a lot of the questions that you all leave me. So if you like those things, make sure you subscribe. Let's get to the 7 habits I've learned while living here in India. Habit number 1, eating with my hands. I feel like if other expats are making this video, which they probably are, and they live here in India, this is probably one of their top things that they've learned, because in the States, we don't really eat with our hands. I mean, we do when we have like sandwiches and finger foods, but when it comes to eating things like curry or dal or just the array of delicious foods that we find here in India, and I'm in Hyderabad to be specific, so biryani is also eaten with the hands. You gotta do it because you gotta, you know, feel your way through. But I've learned how to do that a lot better than I thought I would. You know, I just get my food, and if there is a vehicle for my curries and my sauces like rice or chapati or paratha, then I can go in, and it's such an experience. I feel like Indian food here is such an experience. I definitely will take like my eating habits and my eating styles when it comes to Indian food. I find that it's just a little more efficient and it makes sense. I mean, I think in the States we kind of like to put everything in a bowl and then eat it with the spoon like a chili, but there's just such a grace and an art to having your dal and maybe having your rice or having your curry and having your bread and having it kind of be separate, so then you combine it as you enjoy it. I love that. I'm hungry right now and I think I might make a stew with some chapati tonight. So let's get off the subject. The second habit I picked up living here in India is actually my water intake. And I know that sounds super basic and weird, but heat creeps up on you and you don't even realize how hot it actually has gotten or how cool it has actually gotten. And so I just try to regulate my water intake. I actually use my Fitbit app, and that has like a water tracking section, and I like to track my water because I want to make sure I am drinking enough. Like even today, I still don't feel like I had enough water and I felt very lethargic, very dehydrated. So I will definitely get my water situation under control because you gotta do it. And I don't know why, I think maybe it is in fact the heat, but I definitely am more conscious and just really try to maintain this healthier habit since living here in India. The third thing I'm going to talk about is a little more personal, a little more on the TMI, too much information. It is actually using the bidet, and I talk about this in my video, things in my Indian apartment that just make sense. I like my bidet. And we still get toilet paper. My husband is more of a toilet paper person and I am more of the bidet toilet paper combo type of person. I feel like it's so efficient to have the extra water to just kind of help clean you up. And I find that my hygiene has improved, even though I'm not like a smelly or unhygienic person. I just really like being clean. And so the bidet has just rocked my world. Number 4, the 4th habit that I learned while living here in India has been to cross the street. And Americans, you might think that this is weird. You're probably like, well, duh, like you just go to the crosswalk and you cross the street when it's your turn. But no, I don't actually do that. That's a waste of time. If I see that my destination is right across the way, I just cross the street with everybody else because it's just more efficient that way. I don't have a car here, so I'm not thinking in the mind of a driver. I feel like for drivers, this is very, very, very annoying. And I know that I would be very annoyed if I drove to work or to my destinations every day, because people do just dart out into the street and, you know, you kind of have to let them pass because they technically have the right of way if they're already in the street. So what I've learned, and I learned this in Casablanca first, so Casa prepared me for this, but India has made me kind of this like street warrior. I literally am like, I cannot wait for this traffic to slow down. I can't wait for it to stop for me, because people are not gonna just stop for you. I mean, some people will. Some people are like, oh, I see that you're trying to cross the street, so I will slow down, I will stop. But most drivers are not going to stop for you. You have to be assertive. And to be assertive, use your hand. I use my hand a lot, and it's just kind of like, excuse me, I'm gonna cross quickly. excuse me, I'm coming through. And again, efficiency is key. So I feel very efficient when I am using my hand, when I am crossing the street, but you have to be alert. So if you're coming to India, or if you're just not really comfortable with crossing the street yet, be alert. Pay attention on both sides, pay attention while you're walking forward as well. You kind of have to use your peripherals, and also pay attention to your behind area as well, because motorbikes will kind of zip through and you want to make sure you're out of the way. And also, as people are crossing the street with you, you want to kind of follow the crowd. Utilize, the people that are crossing with you to make sure that you're making it safely. But even with that, you will get left. So be assertive, cross the street, just be very, very alert, and don't get hit by a bus. The fifth habit I learned here in India is actually using namaste. And namaste is just hands together, namaste, saying hello. That is a great greeting to have, especially during coronavirus time. I highly recommend that everybody uses namaste. You don't have to touch anybody, you don't have to hug anybody, which I am not all that comfortable hugging people, especially if I barely know you, or touching your hand if I barely know you. Namaste is great, and it's super polite. I feel like it's just this elevated greeting that I love. I use it a lot with the people that are in my housing area, because that's just the way that we greet each other, either with a wave. So waving is nice, obviously, too. A wave or namaste is great. So that's a habit that I probably will use for the rest of my life, just because it's nice and it's now ingrained. So the sixth habit I want to talk about is being comfortable with money. Here in India, we use rupees, and rupees get you very far. What ended up happening is I'd go to an ATM, for example, and I'd get out maybe $25 to $50 in American money. I would take that out in rupees. Those bills are way too large. I would get into some sticky situations at the beginning, especially because I was ordering from Big Basket and all these different apps like Nika, and I didn't have exact change. And it's so important to have exact change. It's so important to know how the money converts, kind of know that right off the bat. You want to know exactly what your money is doing and how you're spending it. Right now, it's not really helpful because no one is taking cash, so it's kind of like this new cashless system that a lot of the apps have adopted because of COVID. But during non-COVID times, I was using cash a lot. It was my preferred way to pay for things, even like taxis or autos is what we call them here, food deliveries. That change was really, really important. On the lines of autos, I want to talk about my seventh and final habit that I've learned, that I've adopted living here in India, and that is actually hailing a taxi without an app. Foreigners might use the apps like Ola and Uber as a bit of a crutch because they're easy. You literally have your payment established, you have your driver and everything established. It is safe and reliable to an extent, but sometimes we've gotten into situations where Ola wasn't working, Uber doesn't work on our phone, and we are coming back from somewhere maybe at like 10 o'clock at night. So sometimes cars and autos are just not available through the app. And instead of just standing there waiting for something to happen or for it to kick in like an hour later, which we've done before, we now just hail cabs. And it's kind of like hailing a cab in the States. You say, I want a ride, basically. The issue here is sometimes with the apps, the prices are really, really nice and affordable. But when they see me and my husband, they're like, oh, you're not necessarily Indian, so we can charge you more. But the art of negotiation is important. I don't speak Telugu, I don't speak Hindi, but I can negotiate with money because, again, being comfortable with money allows you to do more with your money overseas. And so I'm able to negotiate my price down to somewhere that I feel a lot more comfortable. I think about it in a way of it being more efficient sometimes. Like if an auto is right there, I'll pay like 20 extra rupees for the convenience factor of not having to wait again for like an hour to finally have a ride through an app. I was super nervous about hailing autos when I first arrived here, and I was just like, if I can't use Ola, then I'm not gonna go anywhere. But what kind of a mindset is that? You have to be adventurous, be brave, be bold, learn new things, learn a little bit of the language just to get by, especially when you're using, local services. It's really helpful. Be better than I am. Yeah, I'm really proud of that fact that I can hail an auto without an app. If I need to, I still use the apps though, because they're just convenient as well when they work. yeah. So that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comment section below what habit you found the most interesting that I mentioned, as well as what habits you think I may have picked up that I have not mentioned in this video. Maybe I can make a part 2. Like this video if you liked it, and also subscribe to the Jazzy Nation for more awesome content. I will see you all in the next video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye guys. Mwah.